Prime Minister Kállas, thank you for being with the Greek Broadcasting Corporation tonight. You are here in Greece and you just received the Lord Byron Award on Philhellenism. I want you to discuss a little bit what is the context of Philhellenism today for a member of the European family, the Prime Minister of Estonia.
Well, I think the values that the prize also really celebrates are the same values that were back then when Lord Byron was also supporting Greek freedom and aspiration for freedom. This is the same today. I mean, we have to fight for freedom. We have to take care of freedom and rights when we already have them. And we have to cooperate more with those countries, those friends, allies that share the same values across the world. And then we can be strong.
And what about the relations between Greece and Estonia? How do you see them evolving in the future years? You're having a meeting with the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis. What are you discussing?
We have had excellent cooperation, and although we are the opposite sides of Europe, I mean, we are in the north and you are in the south.
We're both borders.
We are both border countries. We both have big neighbors. We both have to invest a lot in our defense. We both are maritime countries, so we share a lot. And with Prime Minister Mitsotakis, we have been sharing our experience regarding digitalization of governance to make the governance more transparent, effective. I mean, Prime Minister Mitsotakis was in Tallinn. Now I'm here. I think to have this cooperation regarding different aspects, also, you know, maritime regulations all over the world that affect us both, and all these issues that we will discuss.
You have been very vocal against the Russian invasion in Ukraine, and it's one thing to criticize Russia from a distance, say if you are the Prime Minister of Spain, of Italy, even of Greece. And it's another thing to criticize Russia when you have land borders with them. Are you not afraid to talk so openly against Russia and Putin?
Well, Russia really wants us to be afraid, and fear, it's their weapon, really. I mean, they are threatening exactly what are you afraid of? We are threatening you with this, so that you would refrain from making your decisions. And if you think about the definition of terrorism, then it is actually to make you afraid so that you wouldn't make the decisions that you would otherwise make that is right to do. And therefore, we shouldn't be afraid. I mean, because only thing that is really escalating them, I mean, the dictators really want to see that you are afraid and then push even more. So we shouldn't give them that. And I think all these threats so far have been very empty. If you think back, I mean, before the war started, then Putin was threatening that all those who give weapons to Ukraine, you know, all these things will happen, terrible things. Nothing happened. And then there have been threats that have not materialized. So I think we should take the threats as they are to make us afraid, to terrorize us, and we shouldn't allow that.
How would you describe the current situation in Ukraine, and what do you see happening? Is the war coming to an end, or are we still far from it?
We are in this war of attrition, so we are in this for the long haul, and we have to keep this in mind. Russia is playing us getting tired first, and we shouldn't get tired because they are thinking that time is on their side. We are behind Ukraine, and we have to stay behind Ukraine because when Ukraine falls, then all the aggressors or would-be aggressors in the world are also carefully taking notes and definitely using the same playbook, so nobody is safe in the world.
You say that a few days after the Hamas, the terrorist organization, invaded Israel. I want you to comment a little bit on that, and what do you think the reaction of the West should be against that attack?
Well, it is terrible. Nobody should wake up to bombs falling on your house or your children taking hostage. And this is again another form of really using the momentum and terrorizing people. I think our response should be very strong. We are with people of Israel, and all my condolences also to those who have suffered so far.
Some weeks ago you said that Estonia will raise its defense expenses to 3.2% of GDP for the next year, and you also encouraged other NATO member states to do so. Why do you think we should be moving to that direction? You see different threats around our continent?
Well, don't you see different threats around our continent? I mean, what you just mentioned. In 1988, all the NATO members, all the allies in NATO spent 2% of their GDP on defense. And why? Because the threat was real. There was the Cold War, and you needed to invest to defense. Right now, we have a conventional war going on in Europe, and we have to think about our security, our defense. We have to all do more to invest more in our defense. And why? Because then it would act as a deterrent, so that Kremlin wouldn't make any wrong moves. I think what I also said before, when we wouldn't be in NATO right now, we would be living through some really, really dark times. But we are, and therefore we don't have war.
And what about the relationship of Europe with the US? Are you happy with their contribution and the umbrella they are putting through NATO and European countries?
America, United States has been really the leader of helping Ukraine and really helping Ukraine with the military aid that they are giving. And also they are allies in NATO. What we definitely have to see that this transatlantic bond is very strong, but at the same time we also have to invest in our own defense, because NATO has two pillars. One is the defense of yourself, and the other pillar is the collective defense. So others will come to help you if you are also able to defend yourself. And I think there are so many crises in the world that we all have to think what we can do ourselves in addition to the allies that we have.
Estonia is well known to be a world pioneer in digital governance. And in Greece, during the last years, we made giant steps towards that direction. Citizens start to see the difference now. With your personal experience of the matter, what would you suggest to make things work even better? What are the challenges for such a quick, swift?
Yeah. I think the first thing that we did, and what is very important, is the digital identity. So that, in the real world, government issues passports, and by this passport you can tell who you are. But in the online world, there are different passports, and private companies are doing this. In Estonia, we have the digital identity, so you can be sure that I am who I, say I am. And this is the fundamental. How do you make people take up the digital identities? What we did was, what are people interested in? Of course, the tax returns, for example. So if you file your taxes online by using the digital identity in 2000 already, then you got your tax refunds back faster. So people actually saw that, okay, there's a benefit. But now 99% of our government services are also offered online. And why? Because people are living their lives online. And as a government, you alienate from the people if, everything they can do online, but the only thing they can't do is talk to their government or, take these services and use the services that the government provides. So that's why the government needs to be there. But there are also positive sides. Transparency, getting rid of corruption, because you can't really bribe a computer. It's very, very simple. And also efficiency, and of course the convenience that comes with it. You can do it when you want to talk to the government, not because because you are not dependent on the lunch hours and you know, the office hours, but you just ask the services when you need them.
Mm-hmm. And what are your breakthroughs on that side? I mean, what are the next steps on the digital governance?
Yes, the next steps, we are now working on personalized state, which means that, that because we have the data about every single person. So, you know, your family has a new child, so immediately the government tells you that, okay, the schools are here, you know, the supports are here, and it's like proactive that the government thinks about you. The other thing that we are using now and trying to use more is the AI, the artificial intelligence, because there's a lot of talk about the risks, but there are also a lot of opportunities. For example, we have, you know, the matching of job seekers with the available jobs, so the AI can do it, and then you don't have such government expenditure as well, because you don't need so many officials, because you can use the tools that the technology provides you.
Mm-hmm. Now, we live in a world of technology and of social media that dominates around. They have invaded rapidly in the political discourse as well. And we have seen during the last years that more and more politicians are using them to communicate to the voters and to the people and to campaign. Do you believe that politicians are promoting more aspects of their personal life instead of their political ideology? And could this eventually lead to citizens who care less about the real political problems? We talk a lot about the meta-politics theory here.
You know, this is very interesting, because some years ago I read a study that, you know, the male politicians use their, you know, show their family and, you know, the private life more, and they are benefiting from this, also the electorate.
From the narrative they create in the social media world.
Yes, but it is not applicable to female politicians. If you show too much your soft side, you are not into that job, which is very, very interesting. But what is important, I think, of course, everybody is online, so the politicians should be there as well, and the discussions and everything moves there. But for me, it's also important to actually meet with the people, because, you know, somebody else can write your text and you know, create your image, but if you are somebody else actually in real life, then the people will know if they meet you that, oh, you don't talk like this, how you write. I mean, this is not your text. And therefore, I think this meeting of people is still very, very important, because politicians are not actors. If I'm playing somebody else, you will notice, and then you will have the discrepancy there.
You talked about the male politicians, and let me shift the discussion to female politicians. You are the first female prime minister in Estonia. Here in Greece, we have not seen yet a female prime minister. We have a female president of democracy currently, but not a female prime minister. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have to ask this question, but how far do you think we are from the point that gender won't play any role anymore in politics?
Well, I guess in different countries it's different, but what I always want to stress is that men are not better politicians than women, and women are not better politicians than men. We have different life experience, so in order to have balanced decisions, you need to have both representing their life experience, and that's why it's important to have more balanced decisions. At least in Estonia, I feel that people are seeing this. We have more women in parliament, people vote for women more, and it comes also from the people, so that they want to see. But there's also the other side, that you have to have examples. I mean,
you mean role models? Like
role models that you understand that, okay, women can do this job as well as men, and if you don't have those role models, then it is harder. I just bring you this example. When I started as a party leader, then people who were very supportive of me said that, oh, you know, cut your hair, you know, wear glasses, speak with a lower voice, I mean, wear trousers. And they wanted good, but the point was that they felt that there was something wrong with you, and the thing that it was wrong with me was that I'm from the different gender, and they hadn't seen prime minister, female prime minister. So I didn't fit this formula or stereotype. Now that I am prime minister, then I guess it's easier for the others to say that, it can be, men, it can be women, it depends on a person.
And regarding your personal plans in politics, are they contained into the Estonian borders, or are you expanding any plans for a bigger role?
The world. No. I mean, I'm currently Prime Minister of Estonia, and we have so much to do. I mean, very difficult decisions, and it's not easy. It's not easy anywhere. If I'm reading, the memos from different countries, everywhere, it's very tough times. We have the war going on. We have the rising tensions in other regions very close to Europe. We have the economy slowing down. We have high inflation. We have so many worries that we have to deal with on the way. So it is practically one day at a time.
Prime Minister Kállas, thank you very much for being with the Greek Broadcasting Union. Thank you.
Thank you. Ευχαριστώ.